The World Cup is just days away, kicking off in the USA, Canada and Mexico on what looks like terrible pitches and in terrible time zones for us here in the UK. But either way, I'm excited, and that excitement is growing day by day as we get closer and closer, and the fact that this tournament only comes around every 4 years, I thought we would do a prediction for this year's World Cup so you can laugh at my poor knowledge, or revel in how good it is. 2 years ago, I was lucky enough to go to the Euros finals in Berlin to watch England play, but I can't see me being sponsored to go over this year with the price of, well, everything. So I'm looking forward to watching at home, probably with everybody else, even in the US. I don't think anybody's buying these tickets. That being said, we have a massive 48-team World Cup to try and predict here, so this could get a little bit wild. Starting off with Group A then, and we have one of the hosts, Mexico, in there, and they've got quite a difficult group because South Korea, Czech Republic, and the South Africa could be one of like the ones where you can't really predict who is going to top it, because Mexico going in as like a host nation doesn't exactly suggest that they are the best ones there. However, I do think they might top the group alongside Czech Republic, Czechia in second. Do you know what? I'm actually going to swap them around. I think Czechia might finish top of that group, Mexico in second place. They've got Ochoa. They've got to do something and get out of the group, right? Group B is where Canada can finally show the world that they've got some decent players in there. However, I still think Switzerland might top that group, and I think Canada will actually surprise a few people and come in second. Bosnia, I think, will come in third, which means Qatar will come in fourth place and obviously get themselves eliminated. We will obviously select the best third place finishes because this World Cup is absolutely ridiculous. 48 teams and a load of third places will go through, but we'll get round to that when it comes to it. Brazil are the first big nation that we have in here, and I think it's kind of obvious that they're going to top the group. However, I don't think it's going to be that easy. Morocco, Scotland, and Haiti. This is one of those groups where Morocco and Scotland could really surprise people. Morocco finished semi-finalists, and in the last World Cup, they haven't exactly got worse. They've still got some fantastic players. And Scotland are, like, as much as I hate to say it, being an Englishman, they've got a good team, and they've got Scott McTominay. So I actually think Scotland might finish in second. Morocco will go through as the third place finish. This is where my predictions go really wild, and oh, this could go wrong. Now, USA, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey is an interesting group because you can't really pick an obvious winner in this one either. And I'm going to put Paraguay as the group winners. I just think they might surprise a few people. And I'm going to go with Australia in second place and Turkey in third. Now, I'd love nothing more than USA to finish in fourth place, just because I'm sick of seeing all those TikToks of all of the people who are American who are saying things like, oh, Weston McKennie's better than Alexis McAllister. What are you guys talking about? Like, your team is nowhere near as good as what you're making out. You've got some fantastic players, but you're like the Arsenal of this World Cup. Everybody wants to hate you because of how insufferable some of you are. Anyway, we'll move on to Group E, where it's Germany, Ecuador, the Ivory Coast, and Curacao, who is debuting as a debut nation in this World Cup for the first time. It's obviously the nation that I tried to take to the World Cup and win it on Football Manager. However, I don't think they're going to do well in this. I think it's going to be just a nice thing that they're there. Maybe they'll score a couple of goals. Maybe they'll go ahead against Germany but end up losing. This is a difficult group to predict the actual winners of it, though. Ecuador have actually a very good team in there. Ivory Coast, you can never write them off. They have some fantastic players too. I'm going to say Germany will top the group because the logic suggests they should, but I think they might even finish on the same points as Ecuador, and Ecuador, if they get a better goal difference, could go above them. Ivory Coast in third place, I think will go through as one of the third place finishers. Group F is actually where I might make a very bold decision here. Now, the Netherlands have a good side, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to make it out of the group. I genuinely think Sweden might top the group, Japan finish in second, and Tunisia, I don't know a lot about them. I don't want to write them off. I think they might finish in third place and the Netherlands be the shock of the tournament going out early in the group stages. Group G, though, we've got Belgium, Iran, Egypt, and New Zealand. Everybody is banging on about New Zealand because of Tim Payne. What a fantastic story that is. The guy was chosen by a random Argentinian as the most irrelevant person in the World Cup, so they decided to make him famous. He went from 4,000 followers on Instagram overnight to 2.5 million. There are so many memes about him. It's a lovely World Cup story. I don't think it's going to make much difference what happens on the pitch, though. I knew about Tim Payne a long time ago because my friend Luke Roberts always used to sign him on FIFA and go on about how good he actually was. Either way, I think they're going to finish bottom of the group. Top of the group, though, could be an interesting one. Mo Salah's last World Cup. He wasn't even at the last one, I don't think. Is it his first World Cup? I can't even remember the last time Egypt was at a World Cup. I'm going to go Belgium in second place, Iran in third, New Zealand in fourth. Group H, though, is when we get Spain, who I think will be one of the ones that... Obviously, it's top two, really, isn't it? Spain and France, I think, are the two big favourites for this World Cup. With Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and Cape Verde, of course, who are another debuting nation in this World Cup. An interesting story there. And I actually think they might go through as like a top third finish, and it would just be like, this is why we do this at the World Cup. So I think Spain will easily win the group. I don't know like fixtures in when they're going to play like each team. Obviously, I've got some knowledge of this World Cup. I don't know who's playing who exactly what day, but I think Spain will beat Saudi Arabia, Cape Verde, and if they have to play Uruguay in the last game, that might be the only reason why they drop any points. If they play Uruguay in the 2 games before the final game, then I think they'll beat Uruguay and finish on 9 points. I hope that makes sense. Uruguay, I think, will finish in second place. I'm going to put Cape Verde in third, and I might even, if I can, have them as that third place who goes through. Still yet to work that out. Yeah, it does say third place finishes here. You get to pick 8 of them. So there's Group L, which is what? How many groups is that? Is that 16? No, 12 groups, and so only 4 third place teams don't go through. God, it's so much easier to qualify than it is actually to get eliminated from this competition. Speaking of which, Group I has one of the groups which I think you cannot predict the 2nd to 4th place. Now, France, I think, will win it, but they have Norway in their group who have Erling Haaland. Senegal obviously just got to the African Cup of Nations final and technically won it, technically didn't. I don't really know that story. I think it's still up in contention with Morocco. France has put them top, but I'm going to go Norway second, and it could be either way depending on whoever wins out of that game. And then Iraq, I don't really know a lot about Iraq's team, but let's go with Senegal in third place and Iraq in fourth. Group J includes a lot of the A's. We got Argentina, Austria, and Algeria, alongside Jordan, another debuting nation in there, who is the second to last one. We've got Uzbekistan coming up in Group K, and I'm sorry, Jordan, I don't think this is going to be your time. However, the other 3, you could put them in any order, and I'll go, yeah, you're correct. Austria, very hard-working team. Under Ranić as well, they've been playing very well. Algeria has some fantastic players. Amin Gori, they've got Lucas Zidane in goal, who he's actually broke his jaw recently, and I did see a clip of him like fumbling a shot because he was like moving out the way, didn't want it to hit his base. And Riyad Mahrez, of course, is there too. Ben Sabani is there. They got some fantastic players either way. Let's just say, do you know what? Let's make a bold decision. Austria in first place. Argentina in second. Messi's last World Cup. Or is it? I don't know. He might go on for another 4 years. Algeria in third. And I think Algeria might go through. Jordan in fourth. Group K, though, we've got Portugal and Colombia alongside Uzbekistan, who, of course, are debuting. And then, is it the Democratic Republic of Congo, who I already don't really know a lot about them. I just know Yannick Bolasie, I think, was from that nation, so I used to like him. Portugal have a very good strength and depth squad. They've got, I would say, one of the strongest teams in terms of depth, alongside England and maybe France. But yeah, I think Portugal are going to be a nation which dominate the groups and then maybe fumble it in the quarters. Colombia, I don't think they're as good as what they used to be. Like, do you remember James Rodriguez 2014 World Cup? Unbelievable. I still think they're going to finish second, though, because I think the other 2 nations in there are just not strong enough. And then Group L, which I really hate that we have to wait so long as an Englishman to watch England play, because the anticipation, our delusion's going to go up, and it's going to be even more embarrassing when we fumble the first game against Croatia. But still, Group L, it's such a long time away. In normal World Cup standards, this would be like 1.5 fixtures into the group stages before you'd actually see your team play. But because there's now 12 groups instead of 8, this is obviously the reason, well, 12 groups instead of 10 or 8. I don't really know. I can't remember how many normal groups there are. Anyway, England, I think, will top the group. Just for the simple reason that I think Thomas Tuchel is playing a blinder in the way he is controlling this balanced England style of play, rather than just get all of the big names in there. Drop Foden, drop Cole Palmer, massive decisions. just on that. I would have took Lewis Hall. I probably would have took Adam Wharton. But, I mean, yeah, I would have took Cole Palmer, to be honest. I definitely would have dropped Foden. I'd also took Danny Welbeck. That would have been one I would have brought. But either way, England, I think, would top the group. This is where I'm making a bold decision. If England beat Croatia, I don't think Croatia go through. I think Ghana will finish second. They've got some cracking players, Semenyo, etc. I think Croatia will finish third, Panama in fourth, and I could see Croatia not qualifying in the third place finishes. Speaking of which, here we go. This is our third place finishers. We have to select 8 of them. So going through, I think Morocco will definitely be one of them. Ivory Coast, Turkey is another. Senegal, maybe. Algeria is one that I did suggest. If I'm going to leave out Croatia, then I'm going to go for Iran. We've got 2 left, so let's go Bosnia and South Korea. We are eliminating Cape Verde, DR Congo, Croatia, and Tunisia from this. This is ridiculous. Just to continue this, I have to pay for it. This is ridiculous. Okay, after having to subscribe to the Telegraph just to carry on with this prediction, I mean, I did try other predictions, but they didn't line up correctly. I think this one actually does. Let's continue with our round of 32. We've got Mexico versus Canada next. Is that actually what could happen? 2 host nations against each other? I mean, that's kind of cruel, but let's go with Mexico. I think we'll go through in that one. Germany versus Morocco. An interesting tie, actually. There could be an upset in there, but logic suggests it will be Germany. Sweden versus Scotland. Oh, that's a tough one. Okay, I actually do think this is correct because I worked it out and England will play on the Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So I think that is actually correct. I'm going to go with Sweden to go through. Brazil versus Japan is an interesting one. Japan could cause an upset there, you know. Japan really could cause an upset. I'm going to go with Brazil because of Carlo. Only because of Carlo. France versus Turkey, I think it's an easy one. I think France will win that game fairly comfortably. Ecuador versus Norway. Erling Haaland versus like Moises Caicedo. Some surprise packages, I must say, in the South American World Cup qualifying with Ecuador. I think Norway might just have it over them, though. Bodo Glimt, they got half a Bodo Glimt side. The Czechia versus Ivory Coast matchup, though, on the Tuesday, the 30th of June, could go either way as well. I'm going to go with Czechia. England, Algeria. England. I hope. Paraguay versus Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now, I did say Paraguay could be dark horses, but Bosnia had such like a weird qualifying thing. I'm going to go with them and just say that they get to the round of 16 just off the back of, you know, vibes. Egypt versus South Korea. I think Mo Salah and Egypt will qualify against South Korea there. I just don't rate South Korea as much as what I used to in the past. Colombia versus Ghana is an interesting one. I'm going to go with the Ghanaians in this one. I do think the Ghanaians have a little bit more than what Colombia can offer. Spain, Argentina. Can that actually happen? Can Spain-Argentina happen straight away? Is it because of the way I've done the groups? Why did I put Argentina second? Oh my God, I really want that to happen. But then I'm pretty sure that Portugal and Argentina, if we put Austria and Portugal, so whoever wins out of these two, if it's Portugal, I think they face Portugal. Whoever wins out of these two, I think they face Portugal. It could have been Argentina, which means we could have Messi and Ronaldo in the round of 16. But it's going to be Spain versus Argentina, and I think Spain will go through. Switzerland versus Iran. That's an interesting tie, isn't it? Iran. I'm going to put Iran through. Austria versus Uruguay. I think Austria might just surprise a few people this year, you know. Portugal, Senegal. I'm going to go with Portugal in that one. And then Australia versus Belgium. Logic suggests Belgium should have enough to overcome Australia. Into the round of 16, though, and we have got... So, again, I don't know whether this is actually correct, because Iran versus Portugal, I was sure that it was going to be Messi and Ronaldo in the round of 16. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it would have been in the quarterfinals. Let's see. If Austria defeat Belgium, or whoever wins out of that one, if they face Portugal, maybe I was wrong. I don't know. This is very confusing. All I do know is that quarterfinals is the earlier stage that England can face somebody like a Brazil. So if I do put Brazil or Norway through, that's when we should face them. Germany-France, though, is a very interesting one, isn't it? I've got to go with France because I've backed them to be one of the finalists. Mexico-Sweden. Sweden are my dark horses here. I'm going for a quarterfinal finish there. Brazil versus Norway. Erling Haaland versus Brazil. I think Erling Haaland and Norway might actually surprise somebody. I'm going to go England, and they do go up again. So this might be actually correct there because, yeah, all right. So Norway versus England in the quarterfinals. Ghana versus Spain. Spain, I think, will go through, and they will face either Bosnia or Egypt, and this is where we will see Mo Salah once again carry Egypt through. Austria versus Belgium, though. What an interesting tie. I think Austria will continue to go through, and they're going to face Portugal there. So, yes, it would have been correct. The quarterfinal stage would have been Messi versus Ronaldo if Argentina and Messi had topped the group. I predicted them not to. So, yeah. Ball knowledge. On to the quarterfinals, though. Starting off by the 9th of July. It seems so far away. That's over a month away, but it's quarterfinal stages. France versus Sweden. Sweden have been my dark horses. Can they go to the semi-finals? I can't be that silly, surely. Let's go France in that. And they will face either Spain or Egypt, will they? I think they might. This is where we'll see Mo Salah drop out, and it will be a France versus Spain semi-final. Wow. Okay. Norway versus England. I've got to go England. I've got to go England. I still think England, the more the tournament goes on, I think they'll get better and better. And Austria versus Portugal, I think Portugal will go through. Which leads us to a semi-final showdown of 4 of the best nations, I think, in this competition. France versus Spain to get to the final. I think Spain will cope with the situation better. I think Spain tactically will be better. They completely won the Euros because of how good they were tactically, especially against England in that final. And Lamine Yamal is just a very scary player. England versus Portugal, though, is the question of, am I a delusional England fan, or do I actually think England could beat Portugal? Because Portugal rely too much on Cristiano Ronaldo. Is this where I fall out of love with Bruno Fernandes? Very much like when Ronaldo and Rooney had that little spat years and years ago. I've got to go England, and I think it's going to be the same final as what it was in the Euros, and I think Spain are going to win the World Cup. That's a bold prediction, but let me know your thoughts. Let me know your predictions down in the comment section. Was I completely off from what you think? Did I make some very dubious decisions? Let me know down there.